this webinar here on YouTube. I'm Ravi, product designer at Smallcase, and would be sharing some information about SIP in small cases with you today. I hope this webinar helps you invest in your small cases in a planned and systematic fashion. So with further ado, I would like to introduce the concept itself and how you may benefit from it. SIP, or Systematic Investment Plan, is a tried and tested way of investing in equity markets. We generally associate SIP with mutual funds, but you can now also do that with your small cases. SIP is a really simple, intelligent, and the most practical method of investing that links to your future financial goals. In an SIP, you dedicate a certain amount, which you invest in regular intervals, be it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or quarterly, towards the small cases, and watch the money grow over a period of time. So what are the benefits of SIP? The benefits of SIP are that, first you develop a disciplined investing approach. You protect yourself against the market volatility. How you do so is by forgetting about timing the market. Timing the market is one of the toughest and the risky things to do. With SIP, you don't need to worry about when and how much to invest. Systematic investment plans are a disciplined way of investing a fixed sum of money on regular intervals. It eliminates the need to constantly monitor the market or your investments, and they protect you against the market volatility. Second benefit that we get from SIP is rupee cost averaging. So what does rupee cost averaging mean? It means that you buy more when the prices are low and you buy less when the prices are high. With SIPs, you are investing a fixed sum of money on every SIP installment date. If the stock prices are high, you'll buy less number of shares on the stocks in a small case compared to investing the same amount of money when the stock prices are low. This ensures that you invest more when the prices are low and less when the prices are high, resulting in a lower average cost over time. For example, if you were to invest 1,000 rupees on your first installment on a stock which is worth 100 rupees, you would buy 10 shares of that stock on your first installment. On your second installment, if let's say the stock prices went up and it shooted up to 200 rupees per share, and you invested the same amount, 1,000 rupees, even on that day, so you'll be buying 5 shares. On the third installment, however, the stock prices fell down to 50 rupees per share. You'll be buying more number of shares then. So if you keep doing this over time for, let's say, a period of usually 3 to 5 years or more, even 10 years, you'll see that your average cost has been constant, and it is not about timing the market now, and the cost is averaged out over time. The third benefit that you get is the magic of compounding. So whenever usually people say that timing the market is necessary. It's not about timing the market, it's about the time that you spend in the market. The key to becoming wealthy is to start investing early in a regular fashion. The magic of compounding that cannot be stated in this brief amount of time in this webinar here, but the magic of compounding turns a small amount of money invested regularly into huge sums of money. As you start earning, not just on the principal that you had paid at that point of time or invested at that point of time, but also on the returns that you have already generated. You can also know more about compounding on our blog here. It's called Compounding Explained. So there are 2 flows to SIP with small cases. You can start an SIP on professional small cases which are pre-built, and you can also start SIP on the small cases created by you. I'll start with pre-built small cases. So if you have a SIP active on any of your small cases on your investments page, you'll be able to see this icon along with SIP active, which informs you that there is an SIP active on this particular small case. Let's say you wanted to start SIP on bargain buys today. You go to the manage page. Before confirming the amount, what you see is this call out that says if you want to invest regularly in this small case, you can start a SIP now. When you click start, you'll see a modal which asks you a few things. It'll ask you about the frequency of your SIP. It'll ask you how much would you want to invest in this small case on a regular basis, and when do you want to start the SIP. You can choose among weekly, fortnightly, monthly, and quarterly. Soon we'll be also introducing custom amounts. And here is where you select your start date. All right. So if your SIP date is, let's say, on a market holiday, you'll be notified on the next day when the markets are open, and you can continue your SIP installments there. What you see here on the right side is the historical performance of this SIP configuration. If you had invested the minimum investment amount quarterly for the last 3 years, every quarter, your investment summary would be as follows. You would be generating this much value on this investment with a total P&L of 91%. If, let's say, you were to turn this to weekly, you would be investing 4,39,000 with over 3 years, and the generated value would be 8,43,000 with a P&L of 91%. So let's say you start your SIP. Also remember that SIP orders are not placed automatically. You'll have to place these orders yourself. We'll notify you when your SIP installments are due via platform notifications, via email. If you have an Android app, you'll also get a notification on the Android app, and you'll be able to continue with your SIP installments. The moment you start your SIP, you'll be given a confirmation of the same, and you can edit the configuration if you like. If you go and continue, you see that you have an active weekly SIP for this small case, next due on 9th October, which we set right now. If you wish to edit any of this configuration, let's say you wanted to change your investment frequency from weekly to fortnightly, or you wanted to change your next installment date, then you can do all that from here. All you need to do is go and edit SIP, change the frequency from weekly to monthly, and save it. And your SIP frequency is changed. Similarly, you can change the date from 9th to whatever date you like, let's say 13th. You save it and it's done. Also, when your SIP installment is due, you should be able to see it in your dashboard, your homepage, in this section called pending actions. So let's say Cash Cows at Bargain, my SIP installment was due on 26th of September. I see that my SIP installment for the minimum investment amount is due. I can confirm the amount or to proceed, or skip this installment. As I said previously, SIPs are also really flexible, and they allow you to skip installments whenever you want. So you click on skip, and you can skip the installment for this time if you like. But we're not skipping for now. We confirm, and we invest more. The moment your orders are filled, you'll see a batch type of SIP next to your small case on your orders page with all the orders filled right here. And your SIP installment is complete. When you want to check your next installment date, you go inside the manage page, and here you'll be able to see that your next installment for this small case is now on 26th October. If you want to end a SIP for a particular small case, all you have to do is come to edit SIP. You have to click on end SIP, and you have to confirm end SIP. You'll no longer receive the installment alerts for the small case. Also, you can start a SIP anytime you like. So let's say we ended the SIP for this small case, and you would see the same call out here again. Now, if you wanted to SIP in a portfolio of stocks, which are created by your own set of stocks that you want to regularly invest into, all you need to do is create a small case. So first, let's say I add a few stocks. I can also add from the similar sector stocks here. Going to add PC. I assign some weights to all the stocks, and here my small case has been created. So the moment I start investing in this small case, only then you will be able to set up a SIP. So let's say stocks long term. The moment I save this small case, I am investing into this right now. After I've invested in this small case, you will see the same small case card here, and you'll be able to go inside manage. Similar to how pre-built small cases had SIP, you'll also see a SIP here. Now you'll go through the same flow where you have to choose the frequency, the amount, and the date of your SIP. You click on Start SIP, you confirm it, and your SIP has been set. So starting from 7th October, every month, you'll be investing the minimum investment amount on this small case. This way, you can systematically invest in your small cases with ease. Now we go to the SIP flow for mobiles. So friends, on our Android app, you'll be able to start a SIP on any of your small cases by going into the investment section. From here, choose a small case which does not have a SIP yet active on it. Let's say we go to growth at a fair price, and you see that you have a rebalance update pending. You can invest more, or you can start a SIP from this section. You click on Start a SIP and you enter a section where you'll be asked the same three things. You'll be asked to set a frequency for your SIP. You'll be asked how much amount do you want to invest at this point of time, and when would you like to start investing. If you wanted to see the same historical performance for your small case for the last 3 years, if you had done a SIP on this, this is what you would get. So as of today, your investment amount would have been 6,45,000 with a value of 12,55,000, generating a PNL of 93% over the last 3 years. If you had invested regularly every month, the minimum investment amount in this small case. So you can drag and you can check at certain points of time what your investment value and your PNL would have been at that certain point of time. As you can see, your the value that is of the small case is constantly beating your investment value. That these certain ticks that you see are the blue ticks that you see are your investments, and the red one is the value for the small case. Right. So the moment you press Start SIP, you'll be shown the same confirmation that your SIP has been started, and all you need to do now is wait for our notifications to come to you for when you need to do these SIP installments. Right. The moment you set up a SIP, you'll see a card called SIP active on this page on the investment details for this particular small case. You'll have an active quarterly SIP on this small case next due on 6th of October. Remember that you can only start your SIP from the next day as of now. We'll be allowing SIP on the same day really soon. Also, if you had to edit your SIP, all you need to do is click the edit button right here on this card. The moment you click edit SIP, you have the same options. You are only allowed to change the frequency and the date for now. When we introduce custom amounts, we'll have the same section here as well. So you can change the frequency. When you save it, your frequency has been changed. Similarly, if you change your date has been changed, and you're done. You go back, whatever changes you had done in the edit SIP section are now reflected on this card here. Similarly, if you had a SIP installment due, you would see it this way, and you can go and invest more from here. If you had to end SIP for a particular uh, small case, you go to edit SIP, you click on end, and it'll greet you with the confirmation about the same, that you'll no longer receive SIP installment alerts for this small case. And remember that you can start a new SIP anytime you like. When you end a SIP, you'll be given a confirmation that your SIP has been ended successfully and you're done. The creation, setting up, and the managing flows of SIP on both our platforms, web platforms and mobile. Let's take a few examples and see how the returns would have been if you went through one of our pre-built small cases as well as your own created small cases. So taking a taking the example of magic formula, if we go and start a SIP on magic formula, as you can see, if I set up a fortnightly, weekly, or a monthly SIP, uh, let's talk about this graph on the right. You can see that these blue jumps. This is when you invest. So all these jumps refer to the investment that you make at a certain interval, and the orange line represents the small case value, and as it would have fluctuated if you would have started your SIP 3 years ago. As you can see, if you invested quarterly, then you would have generated returns of 99% on the small case over the last 3 years. Similarly, if you would have invested monthly, and if you see the small jumps here, the jumps seem to get smaller and smaller as you increase the frequency of your investment. So you see that there is a PNL of 102% if you had invested monthly in Magic Formula for the last 3 years. So it is viable, and it is like recommended that you invest regularly via SIP on any of your small cases to generate uh, good returns over long periods of time. Let's explore one more example. Let's say we take the example of Naked Trader. I have already invested into this small case, and there is no SIP on this small case as of now. So if I start my SIP, as you can see that if I had invested quarterly in this small case for the last 3 years, this is the return that I would have generated. So, and if I switch it to monthly, the PNL over time remains the same, but the value that you generate is huge here. So you can start a SIP on any of these small cases in this fashion. You can, and the moment you're done, you'll be greeted with a confirmation for the same. Now, let's say we want to, take one last example on a small case that is created by you. So I'm adding a few stocks. These are a few set of stocks that like I've always wanted to invest into, and let's see how these would have generated, how much returns these stocks would have generated if I had started an SIP on these small case. So basically, if you want to start a SIP on your personal set of stocks that you want to invest into, you go create a small case, you assign weights to it accordingly, and you will be able to invest in this small case. So here I'm providing the details for this small case. As soon as I save it, I'll be taken to the investment screen. So before you set up an SIP, you have to invest once. The moment I have set up an invested in this small case, I should be able to see all the orders. The moment I start tracking its performance, I'll I'll be taken to the screen where I know for a fact that okay, no SIP is active on this small case. I go to the manage page and I see the start SIP call out again. As you can see, if I had invested the minimum investment amount monthly for the last 3 years in this small case, it would have generated over 175% returns in the last 3 years. So, or even if quarterly, the PNL is still over 180%, given the fluctuation in the market. So SIP is one of the best ways, tried and tested ways to get and invest into the markets. As you can see here, the moment I start my SIP, I'm done. So basically, your SIP has been set now and will remind you when your SIP is due. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. If you have any more queries, you can reach out to us at contact@smallcase.com or use any of our social handles, twitter.com/smallcasehq, facebook.com/smallcasehq. Thank you all. See you next time.